Monday.com, we've talked about it loads. It's basically a competitor to Salesforce, essentially. They've just had their fourth quarter earnings, and they were very, very good. And the stock was up about 20% off the back of them. So I will fly through their fourth quarter and full year for you. So have you got your pen and paper handy, Steve? Revenue was 150 million for the quarter. That's up 57% year on year. Gross profit came in at 133%. That's up 58% year on year. That's an 88% gross margin.
Sorry, came in at what? Gross profit came in at how much?
133 million.
Million. Thank you. Got it.
Yep. 58%. Did I say billion?
No, you said percent, I think, which is why I was confused.
Did I?
Yeah.
133 million plus 58%, a margin of 88%. Okay, so they do non-GAAP EBIT. Try and work that one out. 14 million, okay. That's actually a 10% margin. That's up 1,992 basis points. Non-GAAP net income, 22 million. That's a 15% margin. But operating cash flow was 34 million, up 152%. That's a 23% margin. Free cash flow, 30 million, 193% growth in that. That's a margin of 20%. Here's a full year as well, just quickly. Revenue was up to 519 million. Getting big pretty quick, this one. Growing at 68%. Full year to full year. Gross profit came in at 453 million. That's up 68%. That's an 87% margin. That's actually a little drop year on year. Non-GAAP EBIT was minus 47 million, so it's a minus 9% margin. Non-GAAP net income minus 33, minus 6% margin. But 27 million in operating cash flow, 8 million in free cash flow. Just a couple of the business metrics for you. So paid customers up 23%. Paid customers spending more than 50k was up 86%. Net dollar retention rate was 120%, which is about flat. Net dollar retention rate for people with over 10 users was down a little bit from to 130 from 135%. Can't complain about those numbers. They're spectacular. Net dollar retention rate for people who spend more than 50k was down from 150% to 135%. But this is a company that's looking quite attractive to me. It's still growing like an absolute weed, but we're starting to see those operating cash flow and free cash flow coming through. A little bit of control on stock-based comp, and that net income will, I mean, what was it, negative 33 million on the quarter, on the year. That's not a lot. That's not a lot at all. This company went live with a really big valuation, raised a hell of a lot of money, and it looks pretty good to me.
And just today, and glad we brought on Monday.com, just today, 3 companies that I work with have used either invoicing systems or compliance systems, all revolved around Monday.com. I hate it, but I think that's a HR error more than a Monday.com error. But more and more companies I'm seeing using Monday rather than any other form. So anecdotally, I always have to see the anecdotal part of it. I don't know if it's in your life at all, is in your work. No, but you could see it coming soon. Downside for me, what did you say? Net margin was 10%.
That was net EBIT.
Oh, net EBIT.
So it was non-GAAP.
Okay.
Net EBIT was only 10%. But this is a company that's still on its way to, it's on the 10 to full profitability.
Obviously,
if this can convert some 88% gross profit into a 20% EBITDA or even a 30% EBITDA, you're looking
I did hear you correctly.
Pretty tasty.
Yeah, I heard you say it was like operating margin was at 88%, but then net margin was at 10%. I was trying to figure out where 70% of their money went there. But I imagine growing company, networking out, all that sort of stuff is happening. There's growth there. You just got to be smart and understand where they're spending the money. And obviously, we all watched Salesforce, didn't we? We all saw where they went. So Monday's got to be coming up their ass right now. Literally, not literally, figuratively.
It's the tall guy, Benioff. You need a pair of ladders.
Yeah, but the thing with Salesforce right now, that Benioff's being called an idiot for growing too quickly, taking on too many people because they're letting go of how many people? I want to say 10,000 people. Salesforce they're letting go of.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah. It is a lot, but they've taken on a lot more. I think I talked to you about this like 3 or 4 weeks ago when we said I think they their net 23,000 hiring over the past 3 years. So, yeah, fair enough. Mark Benioff looks like he's taken a beating recently, but he's not an idiot, is he? He's still going to keep this thing.
No, I mean, Salesforce are in Salesforce and Benioff are in a really bad negative news cycle at the moment. There's not a positive story about Salesforce. It's not a positive story about Benioff, and the share price has fallen. Fallen with that, but that just sort of smells like opportunity.
It does, right? That's there's a long way around, but that was where I was trying to get you to. Is like, which one's got more opportunity now? Is it Monday or Salesforce? What do we think?
Both.
You like this? I just want to see a software as a service company have a margin greater than 10%. I know you said it's EBIT margin, but I need to listen back to that again. But I would like to see a software as a service company having a greater margin of 10%. I just don't understand it yet.
Steve, anything else before we sign off?
I think if I was looking at Monday.com here, I would be looking at stickiness as best I can. I think the question is how they're going to kind of fend off a bigger competitor like Salesforce. And it sounds like they kind of market themselves as the CRM that your workers will actually enjoy using or want to use or something like that. It sounds sort of reasonably positive in that regard. I think my employer, by the way, will be the last institution on earth to use any kind of CRM thing. And it won't matter, to be honest. It will not matter the blindest bit for their kind of competitive position or anything like that.
I'm going to tell you now,
that will be kind of where I'm looking
the company I'm working for will be the last one. We're still using paper. I'm telling you now, where I'm working right now, we're still using paper, and we're keeping it all in boxes, just thousands of boxes. Sorry, carry on.
No, that was all I had. I think that's what I'd be looking at there. The numbers all look pretty encouraging. Yeah. Adjusted EBIT margin is presumably taking out something like one-time costs or some non-cash things or something like that. But that's interesting. It's usually good for comparison, seeing how that's going. You lost me slightly because I had to try and count back 1,099 basis points, and then I had to spend 3 seconds doing that while you then ran through a load more numbers.
3 seconds? I still haven't worked that out.
I think it's 10.99%. You divide it by 100, basically. But I took a second to do that, and then he was on to something else I didn't know what that was, which is dollar-based net retention, I think. And I'd lost sight of him by that point.
I got long. That was a lot longer afterwards. You missed the whole full year, I think, at that point.
Oh no, I knew we were on to the full year.
If you talk about stickiness,
because I had the full year in front of me.
If you talk about stickiness with Monday.com, I've tried to convince people. Yeah, I know. I've tried to convince people to get out of Monday.com because I hate using it as a customer of them, like dealing with their invoicing systems. But they're not moving. They like it. They're sat there in there. They think it's easy, and they ain't moving. So, anecdotally, there's another one. As somebody who uses it regularly,
that stickiness thing didn't go the way I was thinking it was going to go when you wanted to jump in on that point for a moment.